Welcome to The Point. I'm Raquel Flanigan. The Point is an interactive show that welcomes your point of view. So log on now to your Facebook, YouTube, or your Twitter page and let us know what's on your mind. Coming up next, we will have a deeper discussion into Issue 1, the decriminalization of illicit drugs with Dr. Mary Ann Hawkins, plus a guest appearance from our former mayor, Paula Hicks Hudson, who was running her campaign for a seat in the Ohio House. And also, more information on the Legends concert series and upcoming fundraiser at the Frederick Douglass Center. But first up, it seems as if the water crisis from Flint is flowing downstream. After tests of various water sources at 16 out of 24 schools showed elevated amounts of the potentially toxic heavy metals within the Detroit public school system. According to a statement from Detroit Public School Community District Superintendent Nikolai Vitti, with the goal of ensuring the safety of students and employees, Vitti said he began testing everything from sinks to water fountains at all 106 of the district schools last year.
As most of you know, many of our buildings are old. Some are 100 years old to 80 years old.
What are you doing? Why are you here? It's not about just responding to emails at this point.
Are we prepared in Toledo for a crisis such as this in our school system here? A Toledo water group is collecting signatures for Lake Erie Bill of Rights, a grassroots community group called Toledoans for Safe Water, and it has secured more than enough signatures to get a proposal for defending Lake Erie from future pollution threats. The initiative is called the Lake Erie Bill of Rights. It is described by the group as a first in the nation ecosystem rights of nature initiative by the people to declare in the Toledo City Charter that the Lake Erie watershed has legal rights to exist and flourish. Former Toledo Mayor Paula Hicks Hudson began her campaign for a seat in the Ohio House Wednesday, telling supporters she wants to give a new voice for Toledoans in Columbus. The former mayor is running for the Democratic Party nomination for the House district, now held by Michael Ashford. She also has been an assistant Lucas County prosecutor, assistant public defender, and assistant state attorney general. Joining us today, we have former Mayor Paula Hicks Hudson. Hello, Mrs. Hudson, and thanks for joining us here at The Point. My first question for you is, how do you feel as if your role with the Ohio House of Representatives, how could that affect Toledoans today, and how could you pose as a voice for Toledoans?
Well, I'm going to answer the second part first, because I think by working in the legislature with my experience that I can be that voice for our district here. One of the things that I've seen in Columbus, having worked there with Governor Strickland, is that folks in Columbus don't really recognize Toledo as being part of Ohio. And so by just being there to talk about the issues and to push legislation that will affect us here and hopefully help us to thrive is why I'm going to Columbus. The first part of your question, the Ohio House is the legislative body of the state of Ohio, and that's where laws are passed. And many of the laws that are being passed in the state house are laws that negatively affect cities. For example, they passed a tax bill that would cost the city more money to actually operate, and we would lose additional revenue. And one of the primary reasons that I'm going to go to Columbus is to fight for returning local dollars back to our community.
Okay, so one of our topics on today's show is Issue 1, decriminalization of illicit drugs. Can you shed some light on that topic for us?
I think it's a shame that we have to have a constitutional amendment to do the work of the state legislature. This is a law that should have been passed by the legislature, and for whatever reason, it wasn't. We need to look at ways in which we deal with this problem of drug abuse, of crime as it relates to drug trafficking. And, the problems that we've had in the past are still with us, and we need to address it. And to have a constitutional amendment is a little bit much as far as I'm concerned, but the people believe that they had to do it because unfortunately the legislature hasn't done it.
With the construction of the new Mott Library, have you heard of any possible plans for the old Mott Library?
First of all, the library was never owned by the city. the library is owned by the Toledo Lucas County library system. And when the process is that when they vacated, they, because it's a Carnegie building, it can become the city's property. And so I know that there are a number of organizations that are talking with the library, also talking with the city about what they want to use that building for. I believe that it can be a center of a lot of different activities for the community to maybe enhance what the library is going to be doing across the street, also to enhance what's happening at MLK School or even at the other schools or with the other anchor institutions in this community. So to me, it's wide open, and until a plan is put together for how it should operate, it's up in the air, I think.
Well, thanks for joining us here at The Point.
Well, thank you for having me, and remember that November 6th is the last day that you can vote, but early voting is going on right now.
That was former Mayor Paula Hicks Hudson, and we'll be right back.
So what you say now? We can get it poppin' any day now. Slide down on you like a playground. See if little mama wanna play around. I might sing on it. No auto-tune, no T-Pain on it.
In local news, at the Frederick Douglass Center, they're throwing the Legends Concert Series with live entertainment, free food, and it's for the mature crowd only. Live entertainment will feature songs by Aretha Franklin, Luther Vandross, Sam Cooke, and more. For more information on this event, contact Frank Wright at 419-322-6678 or go to www.thedugcenter.org for more information. And in other news, we have coming up November 3rd, the stage play Faces by director Denise Gaston. This play will feature myself along with Steve Allen from the Rance Allen Group and Pamela Martin. We'll also have coming up November 11th, the stage play by director C.L. Woodson, After the Love Has Gone. That will also feature myself along with Big Gemini from the group Men at Large. You've been tuned into The Point. If you have any topics you would like for us to discuss, please log on to our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube channel and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. I'm Raquel Flanigan. Until next time, remember, stick to the facts, act now, and get to the point.